Welcome. How can one use Power Query to conduct bank reconciliation, which can be automated and be used from time to time in terms of to make the process of bank reconciliations is very easy. To start off, I have a sample of a bank statement which contains that is debits and credits to the bank, and also the cash book, which also contains the debits and credits. Yeah, so this is the output of the reconciliation, that is the statement. And what I'm interested in, the output, is to get the outstanding checks or checks that have not cleared, bank charges that are in the bank statement but they are not in the cash book, and also if we have any transactions in the cash book but they are not in the bank statement, and those ones in the bank statement not in the cash book. Let's dip in and start. So we'll be using Power Query, and to start off, of course, they'll go to, I'm getting the information from the table. So okay, you have to click in the active table that you've selected. So first thing you need to do is convert your bank statement and also maybe the cash transactions into a table, and then from there you can be able now to transform them. So this is the bank statement to transform, and of course I'll first save it as a bank or transactions. Yes, and I'll convert this into the type. This is dates, and then I will save this into a connection only. Yes, we'll do a connection only. Yeah, and then once that one is done, we also do the same thing for the cash book. Cash book all transactions, and in that case we'll also do the same thing in terms of we also change the dates into only dates. And then we'll also load this one into as a connection only. Okay, once we've done that one, what we need to do is ultimately by the end of the day, what we are expected to do is we're supposed to compare the two sets of data. So I'll start by now transforming the bank statement so that I can be able to obtain all the sets of information that I require. And from the bank statement, what is expected is I am supposed to be able to extract a list of all the checks that have gone through the bank, that have cleared through the bank. I'm also supposed to extract a list of bank charges that have been indicated in the bank statement, and also in terms of any deposits that have been done to the bank, either direct deposits or deposits from customers. And the same will also happen for the cash book. So I'll just do a reference, and for this one I'm interested in extracting a list of checks. So this one is for bank, but now we are talking of the checks. And in terms of the checks, you can be able to see that the checks is we use, you can be able to see we filter the information using CHQ, because all the bank deposits starts with the CHQ. So in that case, this one also is a list. It's now extracted a list of all the checks that have been processed through the bank. So we also save this one as a connection only. Yeah, so we also do another one the same, which is also we also make a reference and also do the same for bank charges. So this one is basically to extract a list of the bank charges. Bank charges appear as a negative, in the bank statement. So we'll start with the filtering. So we'll be able to filter this one. This is also charges, bank charges. So in that case, we'll filter anything that is less than 0. Yeah, but also anything that is less than 0 but also is not a check, because also those checks in terms of we also need to does not begin with HQ. Yeah, in that case we are now able to get a list of the bank charges for that period of time. So we also load this into a connection only, and also do the same thing for the cash book. Yeah, so for the back cash book, we'll also do the same thing. We make a reference and also extract a list of checks that have been processed or that have been posted. So in this case, of course, we'll come here and do a text filter, and also anything that begins with the CHQ. CHQ. Yeah, now these are the list of all the checks. So in the cash book, so cash book checks, we also make this one into a connection only. Yes, we also do this one into a connection only. So okay, now that we've been able to obtain a list of the listings that we want, now the next step is to compare the various depots that we've been able to extract. And that is in terms of what we need to compare is we need to compare the list of all the checks in the cash book and also against the checks in the bank statement, and extract those ones that we have not been able to see in the bank statement. So in that case, of course, we'll get into a query. So it's a merge. We're going to merge query. So we'll extract from the checks, that is the cash book checks, and also compare that table with the bank checks table. So these are we are going to compare the check numbers in the two tables. And of course, what we are interested in outstanding checks, that is the checks that are in the cash book but they are not in the bank in the bank statement. And in that case is so we are going to use the left hand joint. And of course, it's telling us that if this is the case, then the selection includes 16 out of 23. So there are some cases that, or some items that are not matching, so we can be able to extract. So you can see this is a list of we can remove this one. So this is a list of checks that are missing, or checks that are in the bank statement, are in the cash book but not in the bank statement, outstanding checks. So in this case, we can also load this one into Yeah, so we can load this one into the existing location, and of course we'll load it there. Yeah, so that is the information that that we've that we've received in terms of the totals. So the next item is we also need to get the listing of the bank charges, and in terms of the bank charges is basically to check, but we've not seen them in the in the cash book, so we just bring it here in terms of the bank charges here. So the next thing we'll do is for the bank charges, can also load it to these are the bank charges. We can also load it to load it to so let's load it to our workings. Yeah, so we can be able to add the totals, and from there you can be able to see if just to bring it here for bank charges, just from this formula, and then yes, you can be able to see that now we've been able to reconcile. So the bank, the bank balance, this is the bank statement balance, then you less outstanding checks that have not been cleared, and then of course you have the adjusted balance, and then you compare that. Also you add back, you also adjust the bank statement, the cash book, with also the bank charges, so you'll be able to see that it reconciles. But also in terms of what is the importance of this process, it means that, like, for instance, if yeah, if you were to do, if there is any change, like for instance, if we were to remove one cash transaction, we can go to, let's remove this. If we can remove this transaction, that check from the bank, it means that how do you can be able to just refresh, and once you do the refreshing, of course the bank statement will automatically be able to do what, the bank statement will automatically be able to to refresh itself, and you see it is now reconciling. It has changed from the former balance, so meaning that this one is a very automated process, and it can be able to save a lot of time. So if, like, for instance, you want to do for February, so what you need to do is just to come and you know paste the February data here, the bank statement for February for a month you want, and also the cash book here, and then of course you just refresh, and it will be able to give you the lists or the reconciling items or the reconciliation. So, but what if in some circumstances, if you want to also compare, if you want to compare any deposits that have come to bank, and you've not been able to maybe you have not captured them in the cash book where we have direct deposits from customers, and you've not been able maybe to